All right. Hello and welcome, everybody. Today we've got a special one. All right. So it's about leverage. And this is actually really powerful. I enjoy, thinking about this and coaching about this because it truly is, it's the next level, we all got to be aware of, especially with our actions and especially with what we do. So, and the point of Credit Leverage X, yes, we're very excited to get everybody access to capital and get money. But the real purpose I want you guys to get from coming into this program and going through the whole thing is I want you to learn how to become the best entrepreneur and get the most out of what you put in, and then putting yourself in the right situation and in the right vehicle so that you can truly become successful and get the most out of your time, get the most out of your life, get the most out of your business. Archimedes, give me a place to stand and a lever long enough and I will move the world. The first level of leverage is accountability. And I thought quite a bit about this. And you first have to learn how to leverage yourself, okay? Because if we think about it nowadays, the government's basically trying to put its thoughts in you. The media is trying to put its thoughts in you. You need to learn how to communicate with yourself, leverage yourself, push yourself to get what you need to get done so that you can truly become successful. So almost all leverage starts with accountability. All right. So you first have to learn how to leverage yourself or others will leverage you. Right. And in order for you to learn how to leverage yourself, you have to, it takes a lot of work. Like I made only one slide on this, but think about that a lot. How can you leverage yourself more? How can you leverage yourself to push yourself to go to the gym, to shut up the little bitch voice in your head, to make yourself do the hard work that needs to get done? It all starts with first having accountability and leveraging yourself and understanding what you're capable of, and then pushing those boundaries to push yourself even further. Next thing is going to be skills. All right. So this is all about investing in the SME 500 versus investing in the S&P 500. The S&P 500 gets about a 10% return on the year. So you put $1,000 in. At the end of the year, you'll probably get $1,100 out. Okay. But if you invest in yourself first, you put $1,000 in, you'll probably make $100,000, right? If you invest it properly, you put it in the right course, you get the right training, you become a salesperson, easily you can make $100,000 from $1,000. I guess I've had some mentors who lived in countries where they basically had to leave their countries, right? Because the government seized their business, it seized their land, it seized their money, but they had the skills and they had the mindset and they had the smarts to basically start a new life, right? So I think it was in like Iran or something is where my mentor was from, but he literally got kicked out of his country and lost everything. Still, but he had the skills. He moved to LA, became a multimillionaire. Having those skills that no one else can take away from you, right? The government can't take it away. You can't lose it in a divorce. You can't lose it in a court hearing. Having those skills inside of you because you have the knowledge, that's always going to be the first thing that you should invest in. Okay. So the SME 500 versus the S&P 500, the SME 500 is always good, which is why when you guys get the funding, I really recommend you invest heavily into yourself. And that's what brings me to this next one, which I think is kind of cool. So the only reason you're not a billionaire is because you don't know how to make $1 billion. You have to pay the ignorance bill one way or another in order for you to become a billionaire. You either have to get a mentor, invest in a program, invest your time, right? It's either time or it's money, but you have to figure out a way to pay that ignorance bill. Every time you're investing into paying your ignorance bill, that is the best investment you can possibly make, because eventually you will have all the skills and you will know exactly what you need to do to get you to whatever level you want to get to. But you have to pay the ignorance bill. It's always paid with either time or money. And again, the whole thing with this program is I want you to become the best entrepreneur possible, getting the most out of what you put into something. And it all comes back down to skills. So there's soft skills and then there's hard skills. And the hard skills are easy for you to track. They're easy for you to measure. The soft skills are a little bit harder. Okay. And you basically need to understand what skills you need to learn and then have the discipline to put the work in to improve those skills so that you can get to the next level, so that you can become truly valuable and you can become the best entrepreneur that you can be. And some people have innate talent and some people don't. Like what Kobe Bryant said is while everybody was doing 1 a days, he was doing 2 a days because he had to be twice as good as the people that just had natural talent, right? So you have to think, what are some hard skills that we can work on to just make it so obvious that we can be completely better than just about everyone else? And these are all things that can be trained and can be improved. And then when you become a business owner, you need to learn what are the skills that your employees need to have. Is it whenever they talk to a new person, they have to smile? Okay, that's kind of like an easy skill. And that's something that we can implement and teach people how to do. Very powerful, very, very important for you to learn. Okay. And then these are the 4 levels of value. Okay. So it starts off at the bottom, which is implementation, time, muscles. You can make, $10,000 to $80,000 a year. This is the lowest level of value. The next level of value is unification. Okay. Being the manager, managing a group of people that are implementing. This is, you can probably make $40,000 to $250,000 a year. The next level up from there is communication. The person who is communicating to the managers to tell the people that are implementing what to do. And this is the true levels of value. And then the highest one is imagination. Okay, so imagination, I know it's kind of a Disney word or whatever, right? But if you can imagine the right bills and the right businesses and the right moves and the right plays, and then you can have someone communicate your vision down to the people who are going to manage the people, down to the people that are going to do the work. That is the highest level of value. And this is all leverage. And these are the skills that you need to understand. These are the 4 levels of value that we should all be thinking about. How can I get up to the next level if I truly want to make more money? How can I get to the top where I'm basically running this business and making things happen from my vision, from what I want to see happen? And then I have somebody communicate it. And then it goes down to the person who's going to manage the project. And then it goes down to the people that are actually going to do the work. That's the way that it works. Next step in leverage. These are the steps to truly master leverage and become the best entrepreneur, getting the most out of what you possibly do, is beliefs. Okay. So a lot of entrepreneurs, they have limiting beliefs. Okay. And limiting beliefs are the biggest crushers of dreams. And they are what's holding almost, most people back from ever being successful. Okay. So you have to first understand that there are known beliefs, and then there are the unknown beliefs. Okay. The unknown beliefs are the ones where we have the biggest breakthroughs. The known beliefs are easy things, that we can really kind of do. But the unknown beliefs, when we break the unknown beliefs, those are the chances that we have to succeed. Okay. So the story or the metaphor that I had a friend, he owned a gym, and he was also a programmer. But he basically programmed on his own time, and he programmed an app to help him with his CrossFit. Right. And he thought, because he built it, that no one else would really think it was as valuable as he did. And then he started giving it to people in his gym, and it got really cool, and everybody was really loving it. And he just thought, oh, if I built this, other people would never pay money for this, or other people won't find it useful. And then people inside the gym found it useful. And then myself and another one of my partners said, hey, you need to promote this. You need to, get it out there, because people will love to basically use this app all over the world. And then he basically did one tweet about it and finally got out of his limiting belief. And he went from 20,000 a month to 100,000 a month, just like that, from changing his belief that he was good enough and had something that was very valuable. So the way that you break your beliefs or your limiting beliefs is, first you have to identify them. That's the hardest part. But as you go through life, we tend to see these loops, and they happen over and over and over. And the reason you're stuck in a loop is because there's probably a limiting belief keeping you from breaking through. Okay, so first of all, you have to identify the limiting belief. The only real tips I can give you on identifying them is, you can ask other people, you can journal. What's the word? You have to have intention with the way that you communicate with yourself. Okay, if you're going to start a new project and something comes up, you need to ask yourself, is that a fact, or is that a limiting belief that I'm putting on myself? Okay, and then once you get that limiting belief and you identify it, I want you to get mad. I want you to focus on it. I want you to challenge that limiting belief, because that limiting belief is what's keeping you small and not letting you escape to your true potential. So you have to challenge it, and you have to go on a personal quest to prove that belief wrong. Okay. So if you don't think that you can sell your product for more money, put in the work and try and sell for as much money and break that limiting belief. And then once you basically break the limiting belief, which is you prove it to yourself, you have to still hold on to that winning thing. And you have to use that momentum that you've gotten for breaking that limiting belief to constantly not fall back into old habits. And then you basically need to repeat. Okay. So that's basically what it is. And then now we're finally going to talk about leverage. I talked about a lot of philosophical stuff, but it had to go through those steps, because we haven't even gotten to leverage. You don't even get to be talking about leverage until you've gone through those other steps. Now we get to talk about leverage. Leverage is the difference between what you put in and what you get out. That's what this whole program is all about. You put in a little bit of money with us, you get out at least $50K hopefully a lot more than that, obviously, right? And that's why leverage is so powerful. And then you can use this capital so that you can leverage it, so that you can take care of your family, so that you can go on to the next step in your life, right? And there's money, and then there's wealth. Money is simply the way you transfer wealth from one person to another. The only value that money has is that you can acquire assets. That's what the money is used for when you're using it for leverage. It's to acquire an asset, or you're going to have to acquire something that constantly is moving the money and is creating more money. And the money is also just an illusion. We literally made it up. It's just a piece of paper that we use to trade value in a simple way. And then now it's probably even going away because we're going to find another way to trade value with like crypto or some other thing, right? What wealth is, though, wealth makes you money while you sleep. It earns while you sleep. Okay, so this is a quote. I don't remember who did it, but poor people do the wrong things. Rich people do the right things. Wealthy people own the right things. Okay, so again, you want to use money to own the right things. So are you someone who's doing the right things, or are you trying to own the right things? That's the biggest question. That's the biggest lever that you can pull. Maybe you're doing the right stuff, but you're working too hard. Because like if you think about it, like a doctor or a lawyer, they're never really going to truly become wealthy. They don't have the vehicle to do it. Now, if you're a doctor who ends up owning a clinic with lots of other doctors inside of it, now you're creating true wealth. Or you're a lawyer who owns some sort of division with a lot of other lawyers working underneath you. That's true wealth. Okay, so wealth is ownership. And then this goes back to, this is a Warren Buffett quote, but it's not about how hard you row, but it's about what boat you're in. So I can't think of exactly what college Warren Buffett went to. I'm sure somebody else does, but I forget. But him and another guy graduated at the exact same time, right? And the other guy, he worked harder, he was smarter, he got better grades all the way through college. And what happened is he went into the steel business and Warren Buffett went into the stock market, right? He went to go become an investor. And the guy that worked harder, was smarter, got better grades, he did okay in the steel industry, right? Warren Buffett went on to become one of the richest people in the world because he was in the correct boat, right? He was at that time when you could, buy Coca-Cola or Geico and make like $9 billion or whatever he did, So that's what it's all about. It's not about how hard you row. It's about what boat you're in. Okay. And then these are the 4 types of leverage. In the beginning of leverage, there was just labor. And this is the hardest form of leverage to master, but you can still use it and make it happen. Okay. And the problem that's hard with capital and labor is these are what's called permission-based leverage. Okay, so you need permission in order for you to leverage it. Okay, the top ones are code and media. These two do not require permission. Joe Rogan can just make a podcast and get 1 million views on it just like that, or whatever. He's probably at like 10 million or 1 billion views right by now. But that's the power of leverage. Okay, so when they first started, there was only really labor or capital. Those were like the only 2 basics of leverage, right? And they still work to this day. They're still very powerful, but we're creating new forms of leverage. And I was even thinking maybe I should put AI at the top of this, but we'll see how that plays out. But there's more leverage than just these. But I want you to understand the cool thing about media and code, or especially media, is it costs very little to create, but it can go viral and it can spread to millions and millions of people. So media and code are the new generation of the leverage that we have today. Code is leverage because you program it one time and it constantly is going to do the thing that you programmed it to do. And it's going to basically do the work that we would have other people have to do back in the day. And now we can basically break out. But the reason that this is so important is because whatever vehicle you are going to be creating to get the most out of, you want to start to see how you can implement more of these. Okay, so maybe you start with workers. Then you find someone to invest in your company. Then you find something that you can basically turn into a software, right? And then you're going to use media to promote it to the masses and sell and get attention for your new product. And that's how you can capitalize on all different levels of what leverage is. But the cool thing, again, I think, is permissionless leverage. That's the age that we're in. And that's kind of why it's like the greatest time to be alive and to really start working on these kind of goals. Other leverage, there's scale economy. Okay, the more you produce of a product, the cheaper it gets, right? That's another way to have leverage over over your competition. The network effect. You teach somebody how to speak your language, and then other people speak the language, and then it trickles down, right? Another way is like having your customers add value to your customers. That's another form of leverage. So you can be off in Dubai doing whatever, and your customers are adding value to your customers, and then that's creating money for yourself. And then me and Gino talk about this quite a bit. But transportation is actually a form of leverage. Using having the car rental business is actually leverage because people need to get places nowadays. If you're the only person with the boat to get off the island, that's a lot of leverage you have right there. Okay. And then location online and location offline. If you have terrible food, but you're at some beach or you're at some event, you're going to sell a shitload more of that food for way more than what it's worth, right? And then online, what I think of leverage is SEO or search engine algorithms like popping up for your keywords or whatever. I think of that as a really good location. Or there's multiple other ways online that you can have a great location for your business. Then affiliate marketing, you're leveraging other people's products that they already have and you're selling it. So it could just be flipping as well. But you're basically leveraging what other people have already made, and you're just finding customers for them and you're making money. And then AI, we already talked about that, but using AI as a form of leverage because they can write your scripts, they can write your copy, they can do all the work that would take you hours. So you're really getting your time back, right? And that is a form of leverage. At the end of the day, people who move faster in life don't actually move faster. They just get more for their inputs. They get more for every step. They get more out of every move that they make because they are using leverage to set themselves up for success, to get themselves there faster. Does that make sense? So we all have the same amount of time in the day, but when you finally understand and master leverage and start pushing yourself in that direction, what you do can trickle down and have a much more of an impact than like what somebody else can do. So like the CEO, when he makes a decision, is going to have a much greater impact than what the janitor is going to do. These are the 5 steps to really mastering leverage. And again, I want you to just take this to heart and think about this, is become the best. And I put entrepreneur, but it could just be become the best person in your life, have accountability, know what your best skills are, double down on them, get the best, become the best out of it. Stop having limiting beliefs, improve your beliefs, make sure that you are in the right boat. Okay. Make sure you have the right vehicle to get you where you need to go. And then all you do is sprinkle in time, right? And you're going to be successful. And you're going to be more successful than the people that never took the time to think about gaining leverage or think about doing activities like this and moving forward. But these are the 5 steps to leverage. The goal is to become the best person or best entrepreneur that you can become, and then making sure that you are getting the most out of it, that you are getting the most out of the money that you're getting the most out of the business that you're building, getting the most out of the vehicle and the leverage that you have.